The first model which we are going to learn, Rostov model, is termed as economic growth model. Therefore, it must be learned along with economic development and the related topics. The relevancy of the model, relevancy of learning Rostov is with economic development, because we have learned the meaning of economic growth. We differentiated it from economic development. We also learned what is human development. We have seen the parameters of economic development. We have learned the factors of economic development, the impediments to economic development. We have seen the world scenario. We have learned the spatial variations in economic development, what is called the regional imbalances or developmental anomalies. The question could be asked in different ways, using different vocabulary, different set of words, and you shall never be confused. Now, in the same chronological order, we have to learn sequential order. We have to learn Rostov's model now. The question is, who is Rostov? Rostov was an economist. Rostov came in India in 2001 in Delhi School of Economics, and at that time I was in the campus, but I didn't realize that he is such a famed person. Anyways, nobody knew that a professor called Manmohan Singh will become the Prime Minister of India. The same person who used to sit in the D school cafeteria anyways, Rostov is an economist, but he was not satisfied with the discourse, not happy with economics. He did sociology, masters in sociology. India mein masters and honors are very abused titles. Any Tom, Dick, Harry is a master of economics. If you look at the Indian universities, kya standard hai yaar. And I can tell you, barring 10% professors in India, 10% could be exceptions. 90% professors in India, lecturers in India are, I won't give them any epithet, no names for them, but they are so substandard. They sound terrible. I have a college and I take interview for appointment of lecturers, and people who will come to join the college will be MA, PhD in political science. Ask them what is Article 1. They will tell you that, oh, they learned 10 years back, so they don't remember it. Great. बहुत हालत खराब है. खैर छोड़ो. तो Rostov did his MSc, first MA, masters in economics, then masters in sociology. He was still feeling incomplete, so he did masters in geography. Now, with the knowledge of economics and sociology, when he delve into the realm of geography, he found this discourse to be so enlightening, and it gave him the in-depth analysis of how a society progresses from a poorly developed state to a highly developed stature. And then he read the European history, economic history of Europe. And he read the period of Romanticism, the Dark Age in Europe, then the Industrial Revolution is, then he learned about the French Revolution, the Renaissance, and then the modern scientific era in which he was born. So all these studies led him to a conclusion that economic development or economic growth is not augmented by the resources, the thrust of resources, even not by the capital, even not by the industrialization. Industrialization will be a part of a country's journey to development. But industrialization alone doesn't help in economic growth and development. Then the question is, what leads to economic growth and development? He simply stated that it is the socio-cultural factors, the institutional factors, the religious factors, the political factors. By saying institutional, he already said the political and religious. I counted it separately for your understanding. Meaning, socio-cultural factor is the determinant of economic growth, meaning certain socio-cultures. Certain cultures are progressive and certain cultures are regressive. That is what he's trying to make it a point. Most of the time when I talk about reservations and population control and economic growth and the institutional factors which prevail in India, most of the students will judge me from their own spectacles. But they must realize that I have read so much, and then I have the courage to tell you the truth. And the truth of India is that India is a laggard country because of certain laggard caste groups, cultural groups, ethnic groups, religious groups, whatever you want to call it, or all of them taken together. And development will never augment in India until there is a cultural revolution or a renaissance. What came first? Respond today. What came first? First came the French Revolution, Renaissance, then came the Industrial Revolution. This is right or wrong? So cultural revolution, that liberalism, that freedom for humanity, that liberty to natural rights, constitutional rights, Rousseau, Voltaire, the principles of Auguste Comte, positivism, march towards science, relinquishing the Old Testaments and abandoning the medieval thoughts, the medieval obscurantism. Just think and consider what is being discussed today. Rostov gives me an opportunity to speak my mind out. And I totally agree with, I completely agree with Rostov's model. That economic development or progress of a society is not only based on industrialization. Industrialization could be one of the pillars, but actually it is based on the socio-cultural changes, the political changes, the Renaissance, the institutional changes, the changes which are sought in the perception of people about their life If we keep thinking that life belongs to God, we can never progress. No, never. We can never progress. We have to adopt positivism. Positivism means the scientific approach to life. Positivism means reality is what is cognizable by our senses. If I can see someone, he is real. If I can't see, he is unreal. Now this could be debated. This could be a wrong theory. But for progress, this theory is required. We cannot talk about God. Okay, God is, the wrath of God is Corona. We cannot talk about गोमूत्र से कोरोना ठीक होगा. Look at these dichotomies in our society. We have the best of the doctors of the world, scientists of the world. We have reached Mars, and on the other hand, we have this Gomutra group and this Allah ka Karam group. Then society will never progress. So, going by Rostov, what he said, by reading the European history and civilization, that economic growth will come in stages. So his model is a temporal model. Temporal meaning time-bound model. So from medieval age, it emerges into age X, then age Y, then age Z, something like that. And finally it develops into, so there is a chronological order, sequential order of a stage changes in the society or evolution of the society from medieval to the modern. But he also discusses the causes, that which society will develop into modern society, in which society development will be augmented. The societies which are experiencing socio-institutional changes are more likely to advance into a highly developed society. But if the socio-institutional factors are static or regressive, people are trying to live in retrospection, then there is no socio-institutional change. Therefore, the society will not progress despite the economic gains. I hope you understand this fundamental difference between the economic models of development and growth and the Rostov's model of growth. So Rostov's model is socialistic model. I will call it geographical model of economic growth, because geography includes society, institution, as well as the physical factors, economic. So in totality, when you see holistically, Rostov's model is a geographical model. Moreover, it has temporal analysis. Geography is about time and space analysis of a phenomena. Economic development being a phenomena will be adjudged over the parameters of yardsticks of either time or space. I will tell you what Rostov writes also. The medieval times in Europe, even before that, the Dark Age in Europe has dawned upon the history of times around 450 AD, Anno Domini. After the death of Pomponius Mela, he was the last ancient great scientific Greek geographer. Then it is called the Dark Age. Why it is called Dark Age? Because the Pope, the Church, controlled everything. Even the society, the laws, the social norms, the economic laws, all were governed by the Church. The previous scientific knowledge was simply warded off, deleted, The Ptolemy's world map was correct world map, almost correct map, accurate map, was deleted, obliterated from the books, scientific books, and a new map, a circular map of the world was created. And world was thought to be, the new religious thoughts were that the world was created, universe was created 4000 BC, because that is what Bible said. So that is called the Dark Age. So when we try to, Rostov writes that when we try to pursue every word of prophetic words of the scriptures, we enter the Dark Age. Afghanistan is having a Dark Age. West Asia is also having a Dark Age. Maybe the monetarily petrodollar economy, because of the advancement in rest of the world and technology which is being developed in rest of the world and the demand of the petroleum, the dollars came to them and they look rich. But they have economic growth, but not economic development. They need socio-institutional reforms in a big way. And they have to become a liberal society, secular society like United States, like many of the European societies, or like us, like India. I'm proud of my own society, very liberal, barring one or two incidences which happens, and that happens in a big family everywhere. So Rostov writes that from the Dark Age emanated the medieval age, and medieval age was also full of obscurantism, but age of exploration was there. And you have the Portuguese, the Spanish people, the Dutch, the French, the Britishers later on. They all started moving in the sea, exploring the new land and looking for gold, El Dorado or Terra Incognita. El Dorado is that gold mine, so-called hypothetical gold mine. Many of the voyagers, they came out to find India, the golden bird. India kahan hai bhai? So from Dark Age, religious age, they entered the age of exploration, and then in Europe science began to develop, and that period is called Romanticism, the phase of Romanticism. On one hand we have scholars, we have voyagers, we have scientists emerging, Galileo and Kepler and then Newton, then Halley. So many scientists are emerging in Europe. Europe is having a transformation. Then liberal philosophers are coming. This is one side. But on the other side, you have the poets. A lot of literary work is going on. The talk of metaphysics, the talk of God, spirituality, everything, literature, song, love songs, everything. So that period is called the period of Romanticism. Romanticism may we talk about metaphysics. And Romanticism is against positivism. So European society emerged from Dark Age to that medieval age, that is Romanticist. Romanticist people are not scientific people, not at all. So society will remain stagnant. If not regressive, that will remain stagnant. But a real revolution came with the French Renaissance and the liberal ideology and the democracy, etc. And then came the technological revolution, James Watt, and with James Watt you have industrialization and machine-based economy, and with machine-based economy the manufacturing of processed goods and value-added goods and the creation of market, the urbanization, more research and development, more scientific development, more instruments created, more inventions, more explorations. That is what Europe was all about. And in the process they increase their population, then they suddenly decrease the population because of the higher consumption level. And Europe became stagnant, saturated after that. So from Dark Age, Europe reached the era of high consumption. where every individual is assured with his liberty and freedom. Every individual has very high per capita income. Every individual has work in his hand. He keeps shifting his jobs. He has many opportunities. And that's development. The empowerment of women. Do you know, I always keep telling my students that 50% of humanity is women. And if women is disrespected or not given work or not, allowed to use their talent, allowed to manifest themselves or freed to manifest themselves, who are we to allow them? Freed from the shackles of the domestic chains. Yeah. If the females are not domesticated in a society and they can actually positively, economically, scientifically, spiritually contribute to the society, then that country looks very different. And if you make them captive, put them in a veil, any kind of veil, burqa or parda or whatever you do, then society is not progressive. Your ego is satisfied, male's ego will be satisfied, patriarchal thoughts will continue, chauvinism will continue, and will force the female to think that, oh, they are very happy, they are very happy. We never really inquire whether they are actually happy or not. So this is what is going to come in the Rostov's model. Now, when we progress with the model, when we discuss the model, then we will learn more about him and more the theoretical constructs of Rostov. I hope this introduction will help you in a better understanding and learning about Rostov. How many could pay attention or paid greater heed to whatever talks I did?